Welcome to another episode of tête-à-tête. Let's have a conversation. And today we're going to have a conversation about Andrew Tate. Yes, Andrew Tate is in the news again. Everybody's talking about him. But my angle is going to be a little bit different today. And it's an angle I've been thinking about for a while every time the topic of Andrew Tate comes on. And I've watched many interviews, many of his videos. I've watched PBD going to, I believe, Romania, talking to him whenever he was on house arrest over there. And I've been wanting to talk about an aspect that it's not really new. It's not really new. A lot of people know about it, but I want to talk about it today. And that aspect is really, I think it's as simple as this. It's probably an echoing sentiment because I know a lot of people, he is a very influential person. And when you are influential, you're going to have people hating you and people loving you. And the goal for this video is not to hate Andrew Tate or pile on. I'm not going to talk about any of the allegations about sex trafficking and stuff like that. I think everybody can make their own opinion about that. And for the most part, I don't think anybody can argue if he's actually doing that kind of stuff. It's absolutely bad. So, but the point that I want to make today, what I want to talk about today, is the fact that Andrew Tate's belief and the way he goes about his life reminds me of prosperity gospel. And if you don't know about prosperity gospel, I'll tell you a little bit about it. I'm a Christian. I just don't follow that prosperity gospel type of Christianity. And I can tell you why in another video. But for the purpose of this video, let me tell you a little bit about prosperity gospel. Prosperity gospel is a Christian belief that God blesses people with health, wealth, and health if they have faith. Pray positively and give to charity. It's also known as health and wealth gospel. Some people also call it name it and claim it. So basically, prosperity gospel is the belief that God wants everybody to be rich, to be healthy, to be prosperous. The belief that you just stay with positive thoughts. As long as you have positive thoughts and you declare it, everything else would just come into pass. Everything else would just come into fruition. And real quick, this is not about prosperity gospel, this video, but because I'm making that point with Andrew Tate, it's flawed. This is my personal belief, and I know a lot of people also believe that, but it's flawed because if you believe God's will is a thing, which I do, God's will be done, then you can't just pray any prayers and all of a sudden it becomes God's will. And if you're going to tell me that if you pray for something and that thing didn't happen, you just didn't pray in faith. You just didn't have enough faith. You didn't pray fervently enough. I was born in Haiti. Ever since I could remember, I've seen people praying, fasting, going to church every Sunday. Never missed an opportunity to go to a prayer. Those people are prayer warriors. Like, you need anything, they're already there at the ready to pray for you, to ask God to protect you, to provide, to do all of it. I've also seen these people dying in poverty, going days without eating. I don't believe that God doesn't hear them. I just believe God has a different plan for them. You know what I mean? So now transition over to Andrew Tate's belief. I think, again, I believe that he has that's one little aspect. Well, it's not so little, but that's one aspect of Andrew Tate's belief or the way he goes about his life that I'm dissecting right now. It's public. Everybody can have an opinion. So this is my opinion about it. And so I watched a video not that long ago where he stood on a balcony or like a penthouse or whatever. And he's looking down, smoking a cigar, and said, "Look at these peasants." And he proceeded to just talk about how much they don't, they could be like him. He used to have nothing. Now he's here. If they work hard enough, if they just get up and go to the gym and do that, if you hustle, you do this and that. Again, all that is great, right? And I don't believe everything he says is wrong. I just don't, because he says a lot of things that actually make sense. And there's a reason why he communicates, or he has a voice within the young men of this age, because a lot of things that he's saying, they can relate to it. And a lot of those things are true. But where I believe he goes wrong is where what he says, he just doesn't have any balance. And they're just very much attached to just money and wealth. He's doing those things. I'm sure he believes in them, but the message that he's putting out there is not all good. Matter of fact, a lot of it is very detrimental if you think about it. The way he talks about women, the way he objectified women. He's a self-proclaimed misogynist. And just a lot of things that he does is very... A lot of people would associate a lot of negative words to Andrew Tate. But again, today we're going to talk about the aspect of him kind of like preaching the good message. So Andrew Tate talks about how you shouldn't get married, how you shouldn't do a lot of things that I believe you should do. And let's talk about marriage. I don't think he's married. If he is, my apologies. But I know he has kids and he lives a life, let's just call it free, for lack of a better word, right? So for those out there listening to Andrew Tate and feeling like he's just giving you the gospel, nothing but the gospel, he can't go wrong, and he's so right about, divorces and stuff like that, how it's always tilted one way, which is true. For the most part, it is. And I don't think that's right either. But I don't think his way of going about it is the right way. Because the way he goes about it, he looks at something, he's preaching in fear. And what I mean by that, so he preaches about, or he tries to motivate people in fear. Hey, listen, guys, don't trust girls. Girls are going to do this to you. Look at this guy. He used to have all this money, and now they got a divorce. The girl took this amount. Like, the court sided with the girl. Now she has all this. Don't do this. Don't believe in that, because it's false. It's not true. And stuff. Again, maybe he had that experience, or he reads some stats and stuff like that. But you cannot just assume everybody's going to end up the same way as something you just read, or as the way that it turned out for you. You know what I mean? So let's take marriage, for example, right? So I believe people should get married. I'm married. I believe in marriage. I believe it's sacred. And it's one of those things that we still have and we should fight for, that truly shows you what it is to live selfless when done right. And what I mean by that, when you're married, it's not just about you. Well, it's never going to be about you anymore. It's about us. When you're happy, your spouse is happy. Once you start having kids, well, it's even more not about you, right? But somebody like Andrew Tate won't believe in that, because he's going to keep telling you about how much that, if you get married, you're going to lose everything. If you get married, you're going to lose your freedom. If you get married, you can't be as free as you used to be. If you get married, if you get attached to a girl, that's not good. You should be free to be with multiple girls. I recently heard, I'm sure he said it a while ago, something about like, when you love somebody, you can't cheat. That analogy doesn't make any sense to me at all. Matter of fact, if you love somebody, that's a good reason as to why you should not cheat. And speaking of, love, so I don't, Andrew Tate doesn't believe in true love. That's my assumption, because there's no way you believe in true love and live the way that you live your life and getting involved in the kind of activity that he's involved in. And so I was reading a Pew Research, and I thought that was really interesting to back up, some of the points that I've been making here. So about 9 in 10 Americans, which is about 88%, cited love as a very important reason as to why to get married, ahead of making a lifelong commitment, which is about 81%, is and companionship, 76%. And that research was conducted in 2013. So again, you can listen to Andrew Tate. You can hear a lot of the things that he's saying. He can try to motivate you, which, again, the motivation doesn't come cheap, because I know he has his university thing that he does, and he's hustling. I don't have a problem with people hustling, but I do have a problem with people just putting out the wrong message out there, and that's always been a pet peeve of mine, right? So you can tell people to be careful. You can tell young men to be careful. You're supposed to be careful regardless. When you're about to get married, when you're trying to find somebody to spend the rest of your life with, you do want to get it right the first time. Anybody should strive to get it right the first time. You don't even need Andrew Tate to tell you to do that, right? But trying to sully the reputation of marriage based off of fear of what could happen, what has happened, I think that's very lazy, to say the least. But I think, I know Andrew's agenda is, and obviously it's been working very well for him, with the kind of money that he's made, and how, being the most Googled man in the world at some point. So, but I think he's just wrong. And again, it's similar to prosperity gospel. You're just telling people, if you believe enough. Again, let's take the whole "if you believe enough" thing, talking about Andrew Tate. When you talk about if you want to get out of this situation, you can. You just have to get up and do what you got to do. And hang on, sweetie. Hang on. My daughter wants my help right now. Not right now, sweetie. Not right now. I'll come back to you, okay? I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Kids just never know. But anyway, so I love her, though. I love you. But yeah, I mean, speaking of daughters, so you already know I'm never going to sign with Andrew Tate's mentality. I have 3 daughters, so I don't ever want any of them to end up with anybody resemble who Andrew Tate is. Again, much respect, but it's about a mindset. Your mindset, your belief. I don't believe in it. I think it's severely flawed, and I think it's detrimental to young men. You can take little nuggets out of what he says, what he talks about, but the idea of just like following his little book of how to treat women, how to go, but that's not a life. You living in fear when true love is actually out there ready for you, right? But if you listen, like the amount, like before I got married, my dating record was not exactly great, just because I was always ahead of the game, because I wanted to get married early. Most people that I dated, they didn't want that. They just wanted to have fun, and obviously you can imagine how that turned out. But you can't let past experiences keep you from achieving great things. You can't live in fear. And again, I think that's what Andrew Tate is selling. So, and it's been good for him. A lot of people do listen to him and actually do what he's telling them to do. But this message is for you to, I don't know, just analyze what he's saying. Analyze what he's saying. Again, the best lie at least has a kernel of truth in it. And so when he's telling you that, when you get married, if anything happened, you're going to lose everything. Well, there's truth in that, When you get married, you lose a lot of your freedom. Well, there's truth in that too. It depends on what why you getting married and who you getting married to. Are you just doing it just to do it because of the pressure of society, or are you doing it because you found the true love, the one you want to spend the rest of your life with and build a family with? And once you find that, nothing Andrew Tate is selling or talking about will ever be even close to be true, because the power, the magnitude of finding that one person and be in that world with that person, it's so beautiful. I can't really putting it into words, which is why marriage is so sacred, Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't want to keep harping on who Andrew Tate is. This video was not supposed to be about his flaws necessarily, but as a person, but more because we've all been doing it for years now over the internet. I didn't want to be part of that group. I just wanted to simply talk about the core, like a parallel between Andrew Tate's belief and his doctrine or whatever, and prosperity gospel. I thought that was, as a Christian, I have so many stories about people within the prosperity gospel, friends that I had within the prosperity gospel that were no longer friends, that would just kind of pitch that crap. And it's always been, I don't get it. I don't get how people are there. And the crazy part is, like, those people, it's not funny, but it's just, you can almost always guarantee it when they get hit with true hard time. You see them collapse in real time. They start saying stuff like, well, God doesn't love me. Why is God not listening to me? Why is this happening to me? Those kind of people usually are very weak, very weak-minded, because you think the moment you don't get what you want is because God is mad at you. God is not listening to you, When you look at somebody else, they didn't get what they want, is because they didn't have faith, right? But for you, oh, God must be mad at me. What am I doing? It's not about that. It's not about that. God's always listening. God's always there. It's not about that, right? It's faith in God and let God's will be done. So Andrew Tate, you can tell people that they're peasants all you want. You can tell people, if you hit the gym like I do, like however many times a week, having my routine, my lifestyle, be a kickboxer, whatever, they will get to where you are. That's false. That's false, because not everybody has the same destiny. Not everybody can achieve what you have achieved. But yet, that doesn't mean what you have achieved is what everybody wants or everybody needs. Some people want a life where they're just very happy within their means, within what they have. They don't need as much as you have to be happy. Another thing, I think, as far as Andrew Tate's belief, like religious belief, I know he used to be a Christian, so he said he went from Christianity to Islam. And some of his reasonings, I guess he said that, I'm paraphrasing, like Christianity or people just, it's a weak religion, people will push over. Man, that's when I see people talking that way, or let's just use Andrew Tate in that case. You never understood what Christianity was about. You just never did. And I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm sitting on my high horse. Like I am so imperfect, it's not even funny. But this I know, deep down in my heart, God does not work that way. And Andrew Tate's type would have never fit in Christianity. So that makes, I don't know that much about the Islam religion, but he would have never fit in Christianity. He's too materialistic, too vacuous, too misogynistic, too rude. He's all about money. He's all about power. And Christianity is the opposite of that. He's all about an eye for an eye. Christianity is the opposite of that. It's about letting God fight your battles. Focus on delivering the message. Focus on be a good person. Focus on seeing the needs around you and try your best to meet them. Andrew's about the opposite of all that stuff. Andrew's about treating women as if they're properties. Andrew's about treating people as peasant, as he said in his videos. Look at these peasants down here. Not everybody wants what you have. Not everybody, like, they're not all gonna be happy only if they have what you have. Only if they go to the gym the amount of time you go to the gym. Only if they have a Lamborghini. Only if they do this. No, and that's where he goes. He's so wrong, and it's detrimental to those people listening to him and taking everything that he says as gospel, taking everything that he says as the truth, but it isn't. Remember, the best lie at least has a kernel of truth in it. You know, when you relate to people, you relate to somebody's deepest problem or issue or whatever they're going through in the moment. You can relate to that. That's powerful, right? That's really powerful. But that does not make you right. That does not make everything that's coming out of your mouth the Bible. No pun intended. And so I think people listening to Andrew, that's my message to you guys. Be careful. Listen, and whatever applies to you, take it. But don't let Andrew Tate kind of just destroy your foundation. You got to listen to Andrew Tate with a foundation already established. I certainly don't think anybody should be going to Andrew Tate's to build a foundation. That's not going to be good. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching the channel. Please subscribe, share this if you get any value from it, like it, and I love doing stuff like that. Again, I did like these kind of videos. That's my reasoning for not wanting to talk about all the little details that's going on in his life right now, and I just pick one thing to talk about. That one thing, again, I talked about foundation at the very end. I'm all about foundation, balance, good rhythm, and figure out what the new generation will need so that we can be at peace with the way that they're being inculcated and like the values that they're getting and where they're getting the values that they're getting. I'm all about that. I'm all about seeing kids living to their full potentials. I don't want kids these days to be watching Andrew Tate and feeling like they're getting all the life lessons that they could ever need, all the nutrients. You know what I mean? He ain't it. He ain't it. For sure not. There are other people out there you can be listening to, other people that can help you achieve your goals in life, other people that can help you see the bad and the good and help you navigate your way through life without having to make a bunch of U-turns and feeling like you're lost, feeling like, man, this whole time I thought marriage was great. This whole time I thought I was supposed to respect women. This whole time I thought no. Yes, you're right. You were supposed to respect women. You're supposed to respect the union, the marriage. You're supposed to treat women as if they're not properties, but human beings. You know, I have three daughters. I think about them every day. They're tiny little things. But I want them to be listening to somebody that respects them, somebody that values them, and eventually find a spouse that treat them like queens, you know? So anyways, I can go on and on about Andrew Tate, but you get the point. Keep your head on the swivel. Don't just digest anything that comes from Andrew Tate or people like Andrew Tate. Understand that they are trying to make money. They're trying to make money. Andrew Tate's number one goal is not to see really men don't get screwed over. I mean, sure, that would be an honorable goal, but I'm pretty sure Andrew Andrew Tate's main goal is to make money. That's why he has his university thing going on and everything else that he's got going on. And even things that he might be getting in trouble for with the sex trafficking stuff. I don't know about that. I'm not commenting on any of that. But I'm just saying, look for people that has the best at heart for you, your well-being, your future, and what you're getting from those media platforms, okay? So, yeah, that's just my little advice for you. So, till next time, love you guys.